Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connections Café. We are hosted by Youth for Change Canada. My name is Lynne McIntee. I'm your host today. I would love to do a shout out to Youth for Change Canada, who's doing amazing work. They're allowing us to be here on this platform. We do meet on Zoom in person and do a lot of different events for marginalized population. We focus on connect, create, and inspire. That's sort of our motto. We have a vision to reach as many people as we can in the youth population, really underscoring mental health and all that we do and making sure that programs are provided for youth so they can access and contribute and live nourishing, enriching lives. So my name is Lynne McIntee. I have an amazing guest. We're talking about career pathways, learning about trades. Skills Ontario is here today. Azman Branudeen. He has been with us before, and he's an amazing guest speaker. He has lots to contribute, so we felt it would be great to have him back again. And we're so grateful to have you here today, Azman. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you for inviting me, and it's always good to be here.
Thank you a lot. Follow Youth for Change and follow Youth Connections Cafe, but Youth for Change on social media. Give us a like if you have any ideas for programming. If you would like to be a guest yourself, we would encourage you to reach out to us, and we have amazing things going on. So please give us a like and follow us. Thank you. I'm going to let Osman take it away, but I wondered, Osman, before we start, is there any chance you could just maybe do a little bit of background about yourself, let our youth know how you came to Skills Ontario?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm an immigrant to start with. So my background, my education, I'm from South Asia. I completed my secondary, post-secondary university education in Sri Lanka. And then I completed my degree in finance. Um, After which I worked in the accounting and corporate finance sector for about 12 years. During that time, I was able to accumulate enough experience that led me on this journey of thinking about migration, and that's how I ended up in Canada a few years before. Once I got here, I wanted to actually look at other options. I didn't really want to pursue, my career in finance in Canada, and I knew that Canada was a country where we had many options, and we could always restart our career if we wanted, look at other options, and still make good money, and use our talents and skills. So there were some opportunities that came up. I've been active in the more social programs and helping youth and things like that. So during a couple of these programs that I was attending through our community, I came across Skills Ontario, which is also a not-for-profit, and that encounter sort of led me to looking at options at Skills Ontario. I knew that Skills Ontario and Skills Canada, specifically, they work a lot with students, youth, schools, trying to educate them about different opportunities that are available as far as their career is concerned. So that was a very attractive prospect for me. And that's how I was looking at options, and these vacancies came up. I applied and I was able to get in.
Oh, Aspen, your background is amazing. It's quite diverse then. You're coming to Skills Ontario with this other career, so to speak, that was well established. And then here you are restarting. When you were uh, here, before you arrived in Canada, did you work with youth at all? Or was this just something that a door opened for you, a light bulb turned on and thought, I really do want to pursue this youth aspect?
Back when I was in Sri Lanka, I was working as a corporate, finance specialist, investment analyst, financial analyst, accountant, and these kind of roles. But I also taught. So I taught finance for youth, for a
Oh.
couple of institutions. So during all those years, I was continuously working with students aged about anywhere between 18 to 30, 18 to 40 range. So that gave me this experience in working with youth. And in the way we teach, or in the way I teach, I don't really tend to focus only on the subject matter, and I tend to go on tangents about life and careers and advice and things like that. So many students gave me feedback saying that those kind of, stories and advice I shared really was helpful. And many students keep in touch with me that, they say that those advices or whatever suggestions or whatever stories I shared really help them make smart decisions and things like that. So that really opened this idea in my head that, okay, there is something there, looks like, you're okay in or you're decent in giving advice or helping people. So that's kind of where this interest came from. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. So any youth that are listening and tuning in, keep that in mind. You just never know which direction you're going to go in. And look at all the skill sets that Azman has and is able to bring to the table here to this discussion. All of the wonderful people that he meets along the way. Azman, I'm going to let you take it away with the presentation that you have, and we appreciate that so much. And our youth are tuning in. You never know where this is going to take them, so appreciate it very much. I have a screen share on if you're ready to go, and I may ask a few questions in between as we talked about before, but we are,
Perfect. So
yeah,
get let me
yeah,
share the screen,
sure.
and if you can confirm if it's clear, then I can start the
Thumbs up.
presentation.
Yeah, double
Okay.
thumbs up.
All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to keep the presentation very simple. I'm trying to send, I guess, a broad message here for anyone who's watching and, listening. Um, my focus, I work for Skills Ontario, and, our work is mostly promoting career education in Ontario and in Canada. And that also specifically a group of careers which are well known as the skilled trades. So what I'm trying to share here today. On the one end, I want to explain to you that there are so many different career opportunities that are available in Canada and in Ontario for you. And on the other hand, I do want to open up this idea that there is never a reason or cause for you to be discouraged or for you to feel anxious about your life or future because of all of these options that are available, right? So I hope that those two ideas can really merge together through this presentation. So let me begin by explaining to you the first part. What do we mean by the skilled trades? The skilled trades, they are considered hands-on careers, right? But they require special training and education. And these skilled trades, they're considered essential services. Now, breaking this down, right? The main idea is that hands-on. What do we mean by this? Think about all the electricians, the carpenters, the mechanics, the machinists, the welders, the bakers, the chefs, the hairstylists. Now, all these people who do most of their work with their hands, right? More than 80% of their work is done with their hands. Um, this is what we mean by the skilled trades. Now, skilled trades make up almost 50% of all employment opportunities in Canada and in Ontario, right? So you see how important these are. But there are many misconceptions about the trades that I would like to address here. The first is that some people think that you don't have to learn. There's no proper education that is required to get into these type of careers, that you can be a hairstylist very easily. But that's not the case. In fact, that example, hairstylist, get a license to work as a hairstylist, you need to complete 3,200 hours of practical training in Ontario to get your license as a hairstylist. So there is organized education. Why? Because trades are technical. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know the right way of doing whatever job you're doing. And that requires training and education, right? So this is something really important people should know. Also, that trades really work for practical people. People are different. Some people are really good with studies and books, and they're very good with those. But not everyone is. Not everyone can become a doctor. Not everyone can become a lawyer. If we take the average classroom, It's a good mix of all kinds of students. And we find that skilled trades are a very attractive career prospect for students who consider themselves to be very practical. They like to spend time outside. They like to learn by doing rather than, taking notes. They like to actually, use hands-on activities, arts, crafts, drama, theater, sports to really engage with education. So if you find yourself thinking like, if you're someone like that, right? If you find it difficult to sit in one place for a long time, for example, then probably trades might be a good option for you. I'm not saying it's the only one, but it might actually be a good option for you to consider. And trades are also very creative. Because ultimately what happens is that when you're a tradesperson, you provide solutions to customers. Your car breaks down, you go to a mechanic. Furniture, you go to a carpenter. You want to build a house, you go to a carpenter or builders, right? You want to build a road, you want to build a bridge. That's construction, which is skilled trades. So all these solutions that we look for, right? You want to look new, new hairstyle or something like that, you go to a hairstylist, right? You want to get a new dress made, right? So all of this is the skilled trades. So when they are trained and when they have the knowledge and when they start working, they get to listen to their customers, understand the problem, and provide a solution. That's what they do. But that process of providing a solution requires a lot of creative energy. And that's why we say that skilled trades are very creative. So with that introduction, just to give you an idea of how big of a deal is this subject, there are more than 300 skilled trades in Canada, right? More than 300. So this is a big number, right?
Oh,
And even from those 300, in our province of Ontario, we find about half of them. So even in just the province of Ontario has 144 recognized skilled trades, which are, viable, strong career opportunities for people and for students to consider. And these trades, so broadly speaking, again, one of the important things to understand is that we can divide these trades into these four main groups: construction, industrial, motive power, and service. So we will be looking at these four sectors because I want to break it down and I want to give you a better idea about, the opportunities that are available. And this classification really makes it easy to sort of digest and understand the whole thing. I will also try to share some of the opportunities we have in the tech industry as well, because I know, young students nowadays, there are many students who are interested in technology. Um, so this list that you're seeing on screen, I'm just showing this to you, just to show you that there are so many opportunities. Okay.
that is extensive.
Yes, it is. So if you
Wow.
count, there's 144 here. Uh, and this is just to show you how big of a deal the trades are. Okay. So, people sometimes they don't really know about many of this. I'm sure even when I started working for Skills Ontario, when I saw this list and I was going through it, and I was thinking for myself, like, like you don't know half of these, at least, like you don't know many of these, right? So
Mhm.
it really tells us that there's more we don't know, than the amount of information that we have or than what we know. And it really humbles us in that sense. And that is important when you are, in your life, you're trying to make a decision, you're trying to make career decisions and make smart decisions. You need to be in a place where you're not looking at the world in a narrow, tunnel vision kind of perspective. You need to understand how big the world is. You need to understand how many opportunities there are. So that is one of the things I wanted to share by, showing you this slide. Another important thing I want to share with you is that how organized the trades are and how serious the trades education system is, because this is not something that is random and
Yeah.
unorganized. This is a highly organized um, process and a system that we have in Canada and in Ontario. In fact, Among the 144 jobs that I just showed you in the previous slide, 54 of them, for 54 of them, there is federal recognition, that is Canadian government recognition. And for those 54, you could actually work hard, study, take exams, and get what you call this Canadian Red Seal, which if you do get it, it means you can work in any province in Canada without
Amazing.
any need for recertification.
I see.
Um,
A quick,
yes,
quick question. The Red Seal portion of this, how long has that been in effect, approximately? Has it been many years in Canada, or is that maybe the past 30, 40? They're just
yeah. So it's to my knowledge, it's not new. This
mm,
has been there for more than, at least I can for sure say more than for the past 25, 30 years. But it could date longer than that. I don't have the exact date, but it's
approximate.
definitely not new.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, this might be something quite far off for a student, someone who's considering the trades. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is education here. There are certifications, licenses, recognition, step-by-step processes to follow. These are serious career options, serious career paths that can make you good money and make you very successful. So that is an important message. Okay, so that brings me to the main trade sectors, the ones that I showed you earlier: construction, industrial, motive power, service, and technology. I'd like to show you some examples from each of them. Right? Let's take construction. So here on this slide, you have many jobs. Just simple examples. You have plumbing, carpentry on your left. And then to the right, you might find some names that are probably unfamiliar to you, or maybe you don't get to hear them often, like iron workers or surface blasters. But these are all different example jobs from the construction sector. Now, just to give you an idea about, let's pick one of these examples, right? Let's look at something like power line technician. Now, power line technicians are the people who build, maintain, and fix overhead and underground electrical power lines. So when we use our computer, or this, you're looking at the presentation, or you charge your mobile phone or smart device or whatever, how are we getting the power? Right? It's all thanks to the power line technicians. They are a key component of maintaining the grid in Canada. So this is a skilled trade, hands-on, practical, very, very creative job as well, because they encounter different problems in different work sites, different locations. So they have to be creative and think on their feet to effectively navigate those problems. And on the top right of your screen, you will see how long it takes to become a power line technician, right? It takes 4 years of training to become a power line technician. So if a lawyer is required to complete a 4-year first degree, if a teacher is required to complete a 3 to 4 year first degree, similarly, a power line technician is supposed to complete a 4 year of education. During those 4 years, there is a designated number of hours during which practical training has to be done. And that number for power line is 8,000 hours. So during the 4 years, on average, a student will spend about 2,000 hours actually doing like practical work, practical training under a supervised, group of staff and teachers and mentors, learning the trade, learning how to be a power line technician, learning all the different aspects of that career. So this is why we say that trades are really good opportunities for students who are very hands-on, very practical. They learn well by doing. So that's just one example. And moving on, if you look at industrial, these are some examples from the industrial sector, just like the previous slide. Now, construction, if you think about it, what do? They build, right? They build schools, houses, roads, bridges, all infrastructure, the CN Tower, all of that um, is community centers, gymnasiums, high rises. Everything is from construction. So it's a key component of our economy and of our country. Right? If we don't build, we're not going to have this advanced infrastructure to live in or to enjoy and to utilize. Similarly, industrial, the main function of the industrial sector is manufacturing. So all these gadgets, the products, the smartphones, the devices, all the electronic appliances, all the vehicles, the machine parts, the engine parts, everything has to be made, has to be manufactured. Who does that? These professionals, the professionals from the industrial sector. Again, very hands-on, obviously. You see a few examples here. I'm sure you're familiar with jobs like welding or locksmiths and heavy equipment or tractor trailer drivers. But you also have highly technical jobs in this sector where you need very good, very strong math, very strong physics, chemistry knowledge. Jobs like general machining. Machining is basically making machine parts. Machinists work with metal to create machine parts that are used in all areas of manufacturing, right? Um, you have examples like even railway car technicians. So the people who maintain railway cars, make sure that everything's in good working condition, people who work for the TTC, people who work for VR Rail, Canada Rail, Go Train Network, all of them belong to this sector. So you see how important these jobs are. I hope you see that pattern here, that they are all playing a critical part. When we get onto a bus, when we go to school in your school bus, when we cook something, right? The trades are all over the place. They have embedded themselves in that entire sort of channel of getting things done. Similarly, I'll just show you examples. Motive power. This is the third sector in the skilled trades. This is everything to do with vehicles, right? You know that vehicles are the most extensively used machines in the world, and therefore they break down. They have to be maintained. So vehicle repair and maintenance is a critical part of our economy because mobility, movement, the ability to go from one place to another very, very quickly is actually one of the main reasons for progress and development. If it took for us to go to school, if it took a half a day, how are we going to efficiently learn? If it's going to, if we are not able to move effectively. So these technicians, these mechanics, who take care of all the different types of vehicles, right? For example, you have truck and coach technicians. They take care of all the trucks. You have heavy equipment technicians who take care of all the heavy machines like bulldozers, excavators, and everything to do with, heavy duty work. You have marine engine technicians who take care of all the boats, the yachts, right? Anything small to medium sized. You have airplane technicians, you have motorcycle technicians, all these different types of technicians to make sure that all the vehicles in the country are functioning and are safe. So again, I hope you see how important they are. The fourth and final sector in the trades are basically these, the service sector. The service sector is probably the one we are most familiar with because we meet them, we need them, we get their help all the time. The very famous or commonly well-known jobs are hairstyling, chefs, baking, who we rely on all the time, for food, for grooming, for looks. But it goes way beyond that. All the people you find in a retail store, right? The people who stock the aisles, the people who are in the cashier, the gas station, they're all from this sector. They help us. The people who come into your house from Rogers or Bell to install the network cables, to ensure your Wi-Fi is working, to install your microwave or refrigerator, they all belong to the service sector. The people in the daycare system, early childhood education, early Ontario, they all belong to the service sector. So these are just a few examples, right? Even, in fact, there are some interesting ones like dairy farming. Ontario is the biggest dairy product consumer in Canada as a province, and dairy farmers belong to the service sector. And we know how important dairy products, milk, and all types of dairy products are critical, right, for our lives. Um, Even jobs like this one, horticultural technicians, landscaping, all of those, right? Arborists, they all belong to this sector. And if you have a specific interest in greenhouses, in flowers, in floristry, there are plenty of opportunities for you to consider. And these are multi-billion-dollar industries, and we have very successful technicians in all these areas in Ontario. So these are the four main trade sectors: construction, industrial for manufacturing, motive power for transportation, and then service to facilitate basically daily life. But I also mentioned at the beginning, I want to, spend a few minutes, maybe just to share a few words about technology. Yeah, you see, technology is a critical part of our lives today. It's an inevitable part, and technology has made it possible for us to do so many things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Even this recording, and this whole thing that we're doing right now, and this presentation, and this online medium of delivering this information to you, which many students might even not be able to see this information or ever hear this type of information if not for technology. So technology is very critical, and here you have some examples for students, for people who really want to use technology in their career. They want to build a career because they're good with tech and they want to work in tech. If you're someone like that, there are many opportunities for you. But let's say it goes beyond that. You're not just interested in tech, but you're also very creative. You have very creative energy, very, very creative, skills, I guess. Then look at some of these. Game design, not just playing games, right? So you need designers and developers to design those games that, we all play. That is a tech industry, technology sector job. Um, Even something like graphic design, right? Everything that you see that is printed is designed by a graphic designer. There's a graphic designer behind everything. All the book covers, all these presentations, all the visuals that you see, all the posters, all the brochures, all the flex boards, all the digital boards, the advertisements, everything is a graphic designer's work. Opportunities, even very cool ones like robotics and control specialists. We have very advanced college programs in Ontario, in our province. Even Humber College is quite famous for robotics. So if there are students, I know many young people are quite interested in automation technologies and robotics and things like that. There are plenty of opportunities even for you if you are interested, if you have a passion for it. So these are just a few examples I wanted to share with you from this sector, just opening up this idea that the world is a big place and there are so many different types of opportunities as long as you have a passion and you are good at it, and whatever that may be. So with that, just I guess one other piece of information I want to share with you is basically when we look at the trades, see, careers are very serious decisions, right? When you think about your career, you have to factor in so many things, and it's not easy. I always find, because I speak to many young people and students, they find it very difficult to figure out, what to do with life, what career am I going to get into, will I have a place in the world, and things like that, right? It's really important that, and it's fair. It's fair to think that, and everybody wants to be successful. So whatever career you're going to get into, you will always ask yourself, is this career worthwhile? Is this a viable career? Is it going to help me succeed in life? Right? Will I have a long-term career? Will I have long-term success? Now, purely because I'm focusing on the trades in this presentation, I can tell you that trades are considered good career options because of these four key reasons. That trades are essential, they're in demand, they can be rewarding, and they can be safe, or they are done, or they are safe jobs. But don't take my word for it. I want to try to illustrate these points to you. Now, this kitchen, or this house, or kitchen specifically, if we think about this kitchen and building a kitchen, because a kitchen is a very common place to have all of us. We all know, we all have a kitchen. We are very familiar with it. But do you know that to build a kitchen, we need more than 20 different skilled trades to build
Look
a
at
kitchen?
that. That is incredible, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is so good that you put that together. That's a good visual there. Wow. All of them are, and just like it gets your mind racing on possibilities, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That is incredible. Look at that, everyone. Huh. That is so cool. And I'm just thinking right now, like I think safety in all of the work that is done is sort of probably highlighted in all of the traits. Yeah, even like I'm looking at these job titles here, and you'd have to really lock that down before you work independently. So the beauty of that is always having mentorship along the way, so that you can feel confident and moving forward with your choices, right?
Exactly.
So you don't.
That's a really important point as well.
Yeah. And sometimes our youth or just anyone feels that they have to know everything all at once, and you really don't. That's why you're here. That's why you're pursuing those avenues, is to evolve, I guess, as a person, as a skilled tradesperson, as a contributor to society, for skills that are very, very necessary.
Exactly, exactly. So it is definitely a gradual process. You're not going to learn everything overnight, and nobody expects you to either.
Yeah, that's a good
Nobody,
point.
yeah. So there's, we're all human beings. We are all people. We are all limited. We all have, that learning curve,
Mhm.
right? Even the best of the technicians know how long if you talk to them, they'll tell you how long it took for them to be the best. And they understand that. They know that the next generation of the best technicians will take that time, whatever they need to build that expertise. And that is something they respect. I know that in this industry, I've met so many people from
Yeah.
the trades, and I know that it is something they definitely consider.
Hmm.
And there's a huge respect for mistakes as well. They understand that mistakes are very common, that students, trainees make mistakes, and they are willing to let those happen. They know that those can be great learning tools. That the fact that you make a mistake, and that might be the reason you never repeat that mistake. They understand that in the trades very much. So, there's a huge ecosystem of great support for any student, for students who are interested in the trades.
Mhm, mhm. I like how you worded that it's, in other words, it's okay to make mistakes, and that's welcomed and respected. Because I think sometimes we get in our own heads and think, oh, I need to know everything. I can't make those mistakes. And, it puts so much pressure on, so they're not utilizing their full abilities while they're in the moment. But it's okay and welcoming in those learning opportunities, those learning curves. Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. That's important for our youth. Um, because we're all learning and
So,
growing. It's lifelong learning, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So just finishing up on this portion.
Mhm.
Now, given the fact that these jobs, as you can see, to build that house or the very place you're sitting right now, if you look around, that was built by these people. And because they are essential, they're really needed. There's a big demand in this sector. There's always work. Um, there are a lot of jobs, a lot of companies who are always looking for people. And in fact, we kind of have a crisis right now in Canada. The second point here, if you can read it, it's that Canada right now is facing a massive labor shortage in the skilled trades, second only to healthcare right now.
Yeah.
So this is a big problem, and but it is a positive because it really opens up these opportunities for new entrants, new students who want to get into it because they don't have to be concerned about whether, there'll be work to do, because we have a lot of work and we actually don't have the people, the workforce, the trained workforce, the reliable workforce to do this work. So that is a huge attraction for the skilled trades, which kind of leads into the financial reward, because the trades actually, many people, the starting point in terms of the income, the average annual income for the skilled trades stands at about 70,000 approximately per year. But when you compare this number in itself, someone might think it's not great or it's not enough or something like that. But as a starting point, uh, and also, especially when you compare it with other jobs in the province, which is a lower average, we see that in many aspects, this number is quite good. And it's quite strong and it's quite stable and steady and a very, very attractive value proposition for students who aspire to be skilled tradespeople or professionals. Another important factor is this. Now, many people think that skilled trades, you get into a trade that there's no advancement, no growth. I'll probably be a carpenter and then I'm going to do carpentry my whole life. But that's kind of not how things work. Because what happens here is that we have many different opportunities and different prospects that open up. For example, starting your own business, which is something the government actually values, the government actually promotes and loves, because we need to create more jobs. And they love people who have a genuine interest in starting businesses. Now, when you take a trade, what happens is it's nothing where you have to convince someone that they need. Plumbing, you don't have to convince people that you need plumbers. You don't need to convince people that you need mechanics, because we need them. And these are well-known jobs because they're essential. That fact in itself makes the prospect of starting a business very, very attractive. And many people actually go on to do that. But beyond that, you can work for management. You can work for other departments in companies. Once you start as a tradesperson, you can get promoted to be a team leader, director, manager, supervisor. You can get into other departments like quality control and production and things like that. But also teaching. This is also huge in Canada and in Ontario. Many tradespeople, once they become seasoned, they're experienced, they get to or they look at opportunities of teaching and sharing their knowledge, of training that new generation. And that is where the college professorship and high school teaching comes in, where actually both the high school and the college ecosystems, they hire the skilled trades, licensed tradespeople to train their students. The final fact that I do want to share with you here is this matter of safety. Now, it is fair to think that trades might not be safe, by nature. You might think you're working with power tools, different types of equipment, you're in, dangerous environments, you're working with metal, heavy objects around you, you're climbing as a power line technician, you might be climbing, a tower crane operator might be climbing, really, big heights. But Canada and Ontario is actually considered one of the safest countries in the world for the skilled trades. The reason is because of the focus we have on safety. Now, in Ontario, we have a unique and a specific organization dedicated to developing education, policy, and frameworks related to safety. So every trade has its own sort of rules and codes and precautions and safety measures in place. When you learn the trade, we talked about learning and training. One of the biggest things that you learn is how to do your job safely. That is what is going to, in fact, I've heard students tell me that they're actually fed up of how much their professors and their mentors talk about safety. but it's sort of drilled into them so that they can lead a life of safely doing their jobs. So there's a lot of work. On the other hand, a huge focus in Canada and in Ontario is given to technology and advancement, because some things that we used to do manually 10 years ago, we have fully automated them right now. 50 years ago, a well would be dug manually. People would get together, 10, 20 people, and they would, dig a well. But now we have a piece of equipment called a truck-mounted drilling rig that does the entire job in a completely safe way. And the human is actually the support system, not the ones who dig the well. Now, these type of advancements, the scientific innovation, the research and development that we do in Canada really helps things become much better and much safer as well, because we have developed and we are developing the new tools, the advanced tools, the safety processes to do our jobs even in an even more safer way. On a daily basis, this work is being done. And companies and entities and organizations and the government is heavily investing in the area of making sure that jobs are safe, regardless of whether it's the trades or any other job for that matter. So these are some of the important points I wanted to share with you. I have another one final sort of different piece of the presentation.
I have a question, Azman, as you're loading that up.
Yeah.
I sometimes youth or anyone in particular may feel that they cannot refuse work. Um, and so if there's red flags going into it, they should trust their instincts, that they're, they should normally be surrounded by, someone who's supporting safe conditions. But if they're going into a working situation where they don't feel safe, and they're nervous to say no and refuse the work. Do you have any advice for handling something like that? Yeah,
Just a second. I think my camera is
sure. Yeah,
glitching. I'm just gonna.
And you're watching Youth Connections Cafe and listening to Youth Connections Cafe, hosted by Youth for Change Canada. We're here with Skills Ontario, an amazing guest speaker, Azman, who's with us, doing a lovely presentation.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. So that's where the work of see that the question and the context you kind of painted here. It's a very complicated situation because there are so many factors that can come into play. There could be so many reasons why someone feels like they cannot refuse um, a work, or refuse to do something, or refuse to go somewhere, or use something to do their work. But at a very broad level, what I would, from my personal experience and from my my sort of you know uh, the stories that I know, for one thing, uh, I would like to share that this is Canada, right? This is Ontario. Um, and the way that careers are set up here, employment and the entire employment sector is set up here, is unlike, for example, some of the experiences I've had personally in other parts of the world. I've worked in Sri Lanka, I've worked in India, I've worked in the Middle East. It's not how things are here. Now, for someone, it might be difficult to understand because I do have the experience to compare and contrast. But someone who only knows Canada might not know what's going on in those other parts. Now, what I would like to say is that you can appreciate the fact that you're in Canada and you're working in Canada. You are, and you and me, and we're all very lucky because the employment sector here is very organized, very rules-based, and very favorable to the employees, definitely in matters of safety. So even the organization I shared with you earlier, the Workplace Safety Insurance Board of Ontario, the WSIB, they are the critical and the main organization that works in matters of safety. So even if let's say the worst case scenario where you are unable to reach someone, talk to someone in the company, in that organization, you can always reach out to the WSIB. They have their hotlines, they have their support systems, and it's not to complain. It's to
No.
have a conversation. It's to get advice. It's to get the help you need to begin with. And of course, beyond that, if it could be a toxic workplace, or if it could be dangerous work, if it could be other really complicated, really negative experiences, then of course those steps of escalation, steps of taking the next step is available. But as a starting point, I definitely want to make sure that anyone who's listening, who feels that situation, you're not alone. You are never alone. You always have people around you to help you. And you have from the community organizations, from organizations like Youth for Change here, and even Skills Ontario. But beyond that, even if it's just focusing on safety, definitely the WSIB, the Workplace Safety Insurance Board of Ontario. These are all organizations set up to help you, to listen to you, and to assist you in giving you the right advice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And so with that, just one last thing that I would like to share with you, or last component is, remember when I started this presentation, I said there are mainly two things. On the one end, I want to explain to you that there are so many opportunities, right? And on the other end, I want you to feel hopeful about your future, right? The fact that there are so many opportunities. But what's the bridge here? How do you bridge this idea of, if you're a student, you're looking forward to building your career, but how do you bridge this gap between figuring out, where you are right now, and then to transforming yourself to being someone who's very successful and who's in a great career? In my personal experience, and with a focus on the skilled trades, see, the secret to building a smart career is to learn to figure out what you're really good at. Okay. And if you can do that, if you can really early on in your life, earlier the better. But I'm not saying, when you're 10 years old, but when I say early, I'm saying, 15, 20, maybe, 25, sure. But even 15 to 20 would be a great time. This is your this is your high school, sort of age. When you think about, let's say 15 to 25, around that age is a very good time period in your life to explore, to try, to engage, to make mistakes, to fall, to get back up, to fall again, to make mistakes, where the risk factor is quite less. Later you become in your life, later the older you become, the risk is higher, the stakes are higher. You get to a point where, even if you want to change your career, you might not be able to, right? Now, I was able to do a switch in my career 5 years ago. But if you ask me if I might have been able to do it at this point now, given the place I'm in now, perhaps not. Perhaps it might have been difficult, purely because of the fact that it's late for me, right? It could be late, but it depends on so many factors. But since I'm speaking to young people here, you see, when you think about your life, think about your school, you have, for example, these programs. Let's take a look at students who are in high school or adult school, that kind of situation. All your organizations, they have many tech classes, right? Uh, they offer programs in construction, transportation, woodworking, welding, manufacturing, different types of tech classes. These are all available for students, high school students, especially for grade 9 and 10. Then we have programs like what we call the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, OYAP. This is actually a program for grade 11 and 12 students, where students are able to start an apprenticeship, which is what we call basically another word for learning at work. It's learning at work. So let's say a carpenter's apprentice simply means you're learning with a carpenter. You're learning, you're an apprentice, but you're an apprentice of a real carpenter, an actual carpenter. And
Oh,
this is a
cool.
program designed by the Ministry of Education for
Mhm.
grade 11 and 12 students. Right? So you have opportunities like this. And even other programs, dual credit is another great initiative, which is basically a partnership between public colleges like Humber, Seneca, Centennial, Durham, all these public colleges of Ontario, and the high school ecosystem. So the colleges and the high schools partner together to offer credit programs in different initiatives, different programs. And if students take these and they earn credits, those credits will also be valid for them once they leave school. They will be counted as valid credits. Kinds of give them a head start in a specific career if they like to pursue it further. So there are many programs. Now, why am I sharing this with you? It's to give you hope, right? It's to tell you that um, that you have many opportunities around you. You only have to open your eyes and look around. And these are just some of the examples for high school level students, but also beyond that, at a community level, at organizational level, at union levels, there are so many opportunities around you. Uh, and again, something that I bring personally to the table because I can compare this setup and this system with what's going on in India, what's going on in Sri Lanka, what's going on in the even the United Kingdom or in the Middle East, in Dubai, in Doha, in Qatar. And I can tell you that this is quite advanced. These opportunities, you don't find them everywhere. Governments or ministries, they don't organize these type of opportunities in every country in the world. In that sense, we need to understand that we are quite fortunate to have access to all of these. Now, these opportunities are available for you to try. There's no pressure for you to decide on something. Let's say you engage on a SHISM program in high school. You take up, let's say, horticulture and you try it. You try it for a few weeks. You don't like it. It's okay. You can switch. What's important is you realize that you don't like it. One of
Yes.
the biggest mistakes many students make is that they think just because they like something, they might be good at it.
Mhm.
And they choose post-secondary decisions. They make post-secondary decisions based on that kind of instinct, and then later realize that they were wrong, that they're not good at what they thought they liked in the first place. This is really important for students to understand. So we do heavily promote these programs from Skills Ontario as well, because we want students to try as many things as possible during that no risk phase in their life, so that they can figure out what they like and what they don't like and what they are good at and what they thought they might be good at, but they are really not, so that they can make smart career decisions. We don't want any student to be left behind. We know that every student, every young person in Ontario has a place, has a very important part to play in society, in Canada, in the world, and in life in general. But that will only come if you take up these opportunities. These are not perfect systems, they're not perfect, but they work and they have helped thousands of people. So it's really not about assessing how perfect the system is. It's really about whether you're benefiting from it, whether you are accessing it as much as you can. So my invitation definitely for students and for young people is please engage in these programs, take up as much opportunities as you can, try different things, make mistakes. Talk to people, talk to trades, talk to doctors, engineers, community members, adults, teachers, guidance counselors, community leaders. Talk to people, get advice, be serious about your life, try as many things as possible. And that will lay the foundation to building a very strong career. And if you're a hands-on, if you're a practical person, if you learn well by doing, then there's definitely a place for you in the world of the skilled trades as well. So that's just the final message and reminder I have to share with you today in this presentation.
Azman, you're a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. I had questions that I don't even need to address here. You've covered everything, and we're so grateful for that. And I think I love the key aspect of you saying that try it at a time where it's risk-free. It's a good time in your life to try it, and know that that's okay. You can experiment in that time period if you can. It's a wonderful thing, actually, utilizing skills of youth. Certainly, I've used youth in sort of cooperative programs before, and often you really don't want them to leave when their program has finished. And there are plenty of opportunities to perhaps hire thereafter. So, keeping that in mind, you just never know where it takes you. Your presentation was fantastic. Your knowledge is very, very valuable to us. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Lynn. As I mentioned earlier as well, it's always good to be a part of these kind of initiatives, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Mhm. I was going to ask final words of wisdom, but I think you've covered it. All of your words are wise. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much. I think we're wrapping up our conversation today. Azman Branudeen from Skills Ontario. We're here with Youth Connections Cafe, Youth for Change Canada. Reach out to Skills Ontario. Please, please experiment while you can, while you have that risk-free opportunity. And you never know where the life path will take you. Might take you to a few different paths as well. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you, Azman. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Reach out to Youth for Change Canada, and thank you to Youth for Change for allowing us to be here. My name is Lynne McIntee, and we're signing off for today. Take care, everyone.